Our first jiu-jitsu fight of the night.
I take
This gentleman is out of Asheville, North Carolina, fighting at the 175-pound weight class. He is 72 years old. He is Warren Montgomery.
He said 72 years old?
That is correct. Yes, I've heard a little bit about this, actually. This gentleman is the father of Steve Montgomery, I believe, a fighter from ATT Asheville. And he's coming out to taking care of business. And indeed, it is time for Warren Montgomery to TCOB.
Wow.
So you're talking about
Look alive, our VIP tables.
42 years old getting into the kickboxing realm, 72 getting into the jiu-jitsu realm.
All right, here we go. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, also out of Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome, Chris Johnson.
Hold on, Dylan. Warren Montgomery got his grappling socks on.
I mean, I like those are sandables. Those are nice.
Yeah. Don't want the feet getting cold.
And he's
going up against a definitely not 72-year-old
Chris Johnson, who looks like he is a pizza delivery guy. Literally just stepped out the car with your pie, and he's about to wrestle this old man to the ground. All right, Chris Johnson, Warren Montgomery.
1 round, 7 minutes.
Getting us started here at Fight For It with some jiu-jitsu.
So what can we expect here, Dylan?
Don't ask me that.
Okay.
This is the one time you can't ask me that.
Well, luckily you're the jiu-jitsu expert on the panel.
Oh, gotta have that.
No,
gotta have that, sir.
There's a hush over the room because nobody knows.
This is like Kame all over again.
It's a little different. It's a little
It's
different
a little
than
different,
that.
you think?
Nobody knows what's about to happen. Yeah. It's a good bit different
Needless
from that,
to say, everyone in the venue here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, on the edge of their seat. They paid for the whole thing, but they're only using the edge right now.
I can't take this.
I can't. My heart has not beat in the past 2 minutes, actually. I don't know how I'm still conscious. Jason Collins tells him to slap and go.
Let's get professional, Dylan. We've got to call this match.
I'm trying. I mean, I'm gonna give it my college best.
Fighting for bicep ties.
Steve in the corner of his dad there. He's got the body lock there. Trying to circle to the back. Far knee tap, low ankle pick there.
Chris Johnson basing out there.
Wizard for Chris as he pulls guard.
Left hand on the leg, Warren. Left hand on the, there you go.
This is actually my favorite game to work from full guard too. I get the overhook and try to scoot my hips to the outside, but you see Warren is sliding his hip over, which is preventing the shrimp. Chris can't make any distance, so the overhook's kind of lost all its power.
And it's interesting, we're obviously hearing Warren Montgomery's son coaching him and saying dad. We hear all the time about dads coaching their sons, but how rare is it that a son would be cornering his dad?
Quite rare. Only in jiu-jitsu, I would imagine, but I'm sure there's some tough old dads out there. I mean, Shane Tyner, the grandpa who main evented the last Fight For It. Chris Johnson needs to get those frames in front of the face of Warren Montgomery. Right now, they're behind the head. They're not doing much for him. Does have the post on the near side hip, but unless you can get under the head, you're not going to be able to really get onto your side reliably there. Nice underhook from Warren. That's a nice underhook there.
Yeah, Warren's kept this underhook on this side the whole time, and Chris needs that to get out of there.
Yeah, but I think Warren's setting up a slide right here. He looks like he's going to try to slide right in the side.
He's passed.
Oh, and he looks like he's looking at that arm. He's got that arm kind of collected a little bit. Yep. Yeah, good advice from Steve Montgomery in the corner there, saying that he needs to keep his weight back and heavy because the hips are where all the problems are going to come from here.
There you go. You put your left hand on your wrist, Dad.
He's got to get his right leg free.
Go underneath his arm. Go underneath his arm. Go underneath his arm and grab your wrist. There you go. Almost. Other arm. You can step over to mount.
This definitely is the oldest combat sports athlete I have seen compete in my time as a commentator. And so far, I'll say Warren Montgomery is
looking for a knee bar.
looking at actual technical approaches here, like looking at real solid technique. And we talk about old man strength, we talk about dad strength all the time. If he gets that Kimura, we'll be seeing some dad strength.
Yeah, they got to grip like crazy, man.
Yeah, of course.
Your dad grabs you, it feels different.
Well, they've been gripping things longer. You know, they've been, they've got that time. Oh, nice.
Yeah, you got full mount from
Swings
Warren
right
Montgomery.
into mount, and he's still working on isolating that arm. All that weight on that arm. Flattening the hips. Even Jason Collins grinning at the action going on here.
Way to use your legs, Dad. Use your legs to control it. Good.
Chris Johnson trying to get the frames on the knees. Not going to let Warren Montgomery climb any higher.
Good job, Warren. Good job, Chris.
If you want to get a submission from mount, you got to set up an arm triangle by feeding the arm across, and that looks like one of the approaches Warren may take here. This also prevents your opponent from showing their back and turning their back. A lot of people feel more comfortable trying to escape from back attacks than they do from trying to build from mount or trying to earn it from mount, really. And it is earning it in mount. You're having to turn on your side. You're having to connect your knee and your elbow, which looks like what Chris is doing right here. But Warren beats him to the punch there with the grappling socks.
We got to look into it. I think he might have an unfair advantage with the grappling socks.
The grappling socks are wild, dude. They're awesome. And they're sandable, so you know that, I mean, they're for grappling. They can't be for anything else. That
Right.
company makes skis, you know.
Yeah. It's not for a condition.
He looks like he's going to try to staple that arm with the knee, maybe.
There you go. Look for that straight arm. Go under it with your left arm. Under it with your left arm. Left arm under.
Isolation from Warren.
They're trying to
Going
walk him
on.
through a Kimura here.
Left arm under. Get your left arm under, Warren. There you go. Beautiful.
Grabbing the wrist now
And
is Warren.
his hands are connected.
And he's doing it with the thumb involved, which is a little harder to finish with.
With the thumb involved?
Yeah, you want to have your thumb like this so you can push. It's more pushing power because that arm that's going through is actually a pushing arm more so than I'm pulling the arm.
I think people naturally just want to grab.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They think
just
it's more
wanna-
secure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can definitely finish it a million ways with your thumbs like that, but just a little bit more torque.
Lift your elbow now. Keep his hand on the ground and lift the elbow, Warren. Lift your left arm, Dad. Left arm, lift.
And I like, normally this is where a lot of people would hop out and they would go for that crazy side control Kimura finish, but my personal preference is to cook right here. My personal preference is to slow roll it because I worked really hard to get to mount, and so did Warren, and he doesn't want to just give that up for the idea of a submission that may or may not be there.
There it is. Now lift your left arm only. Keep the wrist and lift the left arm. Left arm. Lift it. Other way. That's the right arm. Lift the left. Lift the left. Lift that left shoulder. You got it.
Oh, he's getting some elevation, creating some space between him. He's going to be able to crank this thing.
Yeah, but this is where if you're Chris Johnson, you can get your hand on that. You can get your hand on that far knee when the weight starts to come forward.
And we got a tap.
What? Got the arm off the ground. Montgomery does it by Kimura from mount. Warren Montgomery, the father of Steve Montgomery, successful in his jiu-jitsu debut and fight for it debut here to get us started at Winston-Salem. Not much you'll see in the combat sports world will be equivalent to that, ladies and gentlemen.
And Warren's exhausted.
Oh, absolutely. And he was in control the whole time.
Yeah, he was on top the whole time. He was
He was
exhausted.
in control.
They were trying to talk him through that Kimura. They wanted him to lift that left arm. and I know
Lift
he
the
was
other arm, sir.
I know he's thinking, man, you come in here and lift that thing. I'm tired.
And that was
Fighters to the center of the ring.
Sam getting warmed up.
Your winner by referee stoppage, Kimura, out of the red corner. Put them hands together, make some noise. It's Warren Montgomery.
Warren Montgomery.
Definitely congratulations, young man.
Kind of the opposite.
We have one more
of
jiu-jitsu
the,
match
hit
coming
time.
up for you, and that is right after this one.
You said
Then
that.
we slide into our kickboxing matches of the night. Then youth MMA, then youth kickboxing, then MMA.